why the Congress-led government of Kamalnath was toppled in Madhya Pradesh, but the Congress-led government by Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan could not be toppled. Though the BJP succeeded in Madhya Pradesh, why it has so far not succeeded in Rajasthan, and in fact the indications are that the Gehlot government, despite an open, unprecedented rebellion by Sachin Pilot, senior Congress leader and a former deputy CM, the Gehlot government, despite that, is going from strength to strength. This is the subject matter of today's video editorial. I am Rajeev Sharma. Now, let me give you the details. First of all, the inherent numerical nature is behind it. The mathematics, the numbers game in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, both, in fact, the Congress had wrested from BJP these three states, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, in December 2018. But in Madhya Pradesh, it was a hung assembly. In the 230-member assembly, Congress got 114, two short of the magic number, but BJP managed 109. It was a loss of 57 seats for BJP and a gain of 57 seats for the Congress in Madhya Pradesh. But despite the loss, in terms of voting percentage and in terms of popular vote, BJP was ahead of Congress. This is strange, that though BJP polled more votes than Congress, it got 5 seats lesser than Congress in Madhya Pradesh. In Rajasthan, the situation was different. In the 200-member assembly, Congress got 99, whereas BJP got 73. Out of 199 results declared, one election was countermanded. Now, later on, when the by-election took place, Congress won that seat and made it 100 out of 200 in Rajasthan. Now, Gehlot was and is better placed than Kamalnath was. Both were confronted by tall leaders, both of them young tucks, Jyotiraditya Scindia in Madhya Pradesh and Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan. Kamalnath wrote his own political obituary in many ways. His overdependence on Digvijay Singh, that proved to be his undoing. If you recall, when Rahul Gandhi resigned as Congress president after the loss of 2019 general elections, he said that he was quite pained to see senior leaders working for themselves, for their sons and daughters, not for the party. Who was he hinting at? He was hinting at Kamalnath, Digvijay Singh, Ashok Gehlot, P.J. Damram. Now, so these two states, sooner or later, that is Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, had to be in the political crosshairs. And BJP was just waiting in the wings to strike. Strike it did in Madhya Pradesh very well, successfully. But in Rajasthan, it has failed. apart from the numerical strength reason, Kamalnath continuously not only ignored Scindia, but he humiliated him. So much so that when just before Scindia resigned from the Congress and moved over to the BJP, Scindia had made a request for an official bungalow to be allocated to him in Bhopal. Kamalnath not only did not give him the bungalow, but he rubbed it in by allotting the bungalow to his son. And soon after that, Scindia said enough is enough and he quit. Not only he quit, he took along with him 22 MLAs. So obviously, the Kamalnath government was in a minority and had to go. As against, in comparison, if you see Gehlot, there was no equivalent of Digvijay Singh for Gehlot in Rajasthan. Gehlot kept his own counsel. He went solo. Of course, he ignored completely Sachin Pilot, and as he himself has said that for the past 18 months, Pilot and he, that is Gehlot, were not on talking terms. And he said that what to do with a deputy CM who doesn't talk to the CM in an interview. Now, another crucial difference is between Kamalnath and Gehlot that in case of Madhya Pradesh, the exit of Scindia from Congress and his move over to BJP was encouraged and fueled by the former Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who eventually replaced Kamalnath. In contrast, there is no such privilege for Sachin Pilot. The former Chief Minister and a BJP stalwart, Vasundhara Raje, she maintained distance from Sachin Pilot. What to talk of encouraging his exit or what to talk of fueling his decisions. So this is a very important difference. Now, come to the next one. After it was clear that virtually in both the states, the Congress had not won an emphatic victory, not a clear mandate. On its own, it was not over the magic number mark. But in Madhya Pradesh, Kamalnath did precious little to bolster his ranks, his numbers. Whereas in Rajasthan, Gehlot kept on swelling his numbers from 99 to 117. How? First, he worked on the regional parties, including the BSP, won them over, won their support. Then he worked on the independents, and that's how the number got swelled to 117. So, another thing is that Pilot grossly underestimated, miscalculated thoroughly his support base. Jyotiraditya Scindia moved quietly but quickly and ensured that he gets out from the party along with 22 MLAs. Sachin Pilot, in contrast, first he claimed that he has support of over 30 MLAs. Eventually, now it turns out that he doesn't have support of even 20. And whatever 20, even that number, that base is further eroding. And in fact, the Gehlot government is going from strength to strength, as I said earlier. So much so that Gehlot met the governor, Kalyan Singh, yesterday and was closeted with him for 45 minutes. And of course, there are indications that he is so emboldened that he may order a floor test. He may have a floor test next week. Now, another thing is that the assembly speaker moved in quickly in Rajasthan and sent disqualification notices to the Congress rebels led by Sachin Pilot. 18 of them. Now, what has happened is that they moved the court, the High Court, and the High Court has stayed further action on them till Tuesday, and from Monday they will have a hearing. And in case by Tuesday, if the court hearing is adverse for the Congress, then Gehlot government can go for floor test. No party can object to this. In fact, BJP has been asking for it. Another very important difference between Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, friends, that Madhya Pradesh crisis blew up in March, and in the third week of March, the crisis was in its fullest bloom. Now, on 23rd of March, Kamalnath resigned and Shivraj Singh Chauhan was sworn in as Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. 24th of March, Prime Minister Modi declared a nationwide lockdown, curfew-like, with effect from midnight of March 25. Now, that lockdown made absolutely things easy for the BJP, because no further political machinations were possible because there was a curfew-like lockdown. In contrast, no such luxury was available for Sachin Pilot. For Gehlot, Gehlot was not constrained by lockdown problem. So that was good for Gehlot. Now, also, he could really manage, take away his the Congress MLAs in a huddle and play the resort politics. So, friends, these are the multiple reasons why and how the Congress government in Madhya Pradesh fell, but it has survived in Rajasthan despite major act of rebellion by tall Congress leaders in both the states. So I hope that my friends who are UPSC and civil services aspirants will like this, and they will find it useful, and even others will find it useful. I hope that you will like this video and subscribe to my channel, Rajeev Kishkindha. Thank you.